I have the pleasure and honor of being able to introduce Sonny Ahuja. And just to let you know how much of a pleasure it is, and if this is some sort of an endorsement, then take it that way. I've actually asked Sonny to create my website. And I tried to work with a lot of other people. I'm going to be very honest. When it comes to computers, when you say platform to me, I look for a place to stand, okay? And it's, I'm a computer idiot. But I have a vision of what I want, and this man has been able to take my vision and actually bring it to fruition. And he's created it, and he's done exactly what I needed here. So I want you to really listen to this man. You will get a ton out of this talk he's going to do about killing it online and online generating systems here that he's created. And Sonny's from Atlanta, Georgia. So without any further ado, let's introduce Sonny.
All right, so how to profit from Google AdWords. First thing first, you need to have individual separate campaigns for each service you provide. Mold is separate from carpet, which is separate from remarketing, air duct cleaning, water damage. There's quite a few reasons for that. Number one, you can have separate daily budgets. So for mold, in this case, we have $20 a day. For carpet, $20 a day. Air duct cleaning, $10 a day. Water damage, $30 a day. Okay, depending on the service, depending on your budget. You may want to spend more on water and less on carpet. That's fine. So having separate campaigns allows you to do that. If you, I have audited more than 250 campaigns, accounts for restoration companies. Most of them, I would say about 80% of them, will have everything in one campaign. So what's happening is they will have, let's say, $100 a day budget, and then they'll have mold in it, they'll have carpet in it, and they'll have water in it, and other things. So that's the number one mistake you don't want to do. Separate campaigns for budgets and areas. One campaign, you can only target one area. It could be small, it could be large, whatever that area is. When the campaigns are separate with carpet, you might be going 10-mile radius. Water damage, you might go 30-mile radius or 20-mile radius or different zip codes. So that's possible if your campaigns are separate. If you have a large budget, like in this case, each campaign we are spending about $200 a day. So this particular company, I met them here about 2 years ago. Their monthly budget was $3,000. Now it's about $40,000 a month they spend on Google. In that case, if you have a budget that big, you can have separate campaigns for each area. So a separate campaign for Vegas, a separate campaign for Hendersonville, a separate campaign for Boulder in this case, and so forth. A separate campaign will allow you to have separate landing pages, which means now the campaign for, in this case, let's say Washington, D.C., and a campaign for Virginia, and a separate campaign for, there should be one for Baltimore. So although they're very close, but a separate campaigns allow you to write copy on the landing page accordingly. So if someone clicks on campaign for DC, they'll go down to a landing page on your site that will say, we're the local experts of Washington, D.C., been here 20 years, will be at your place in 30 minutes or less. So the person who goes to that landing page will immediately relate to it and call you. Because it's like, hey, I'm in DC, these guys are in DC, how long can it take for them to get here? So now you can have separate campaigns based on areas. And so people will think you're closer to them, you can get to them faster. Remember, this is an emergency situation with water damage. They need you like yesterday. So all these little things help you get more conversion, more calls. Be very specific with area selection. So by default, when you set up your campaigns in Google, they run in US and Canada. Entire US and entire Canada. Here's a screenshot from an account I analyzed. This is a company based out of Chicago, but their campaigns were running in DC, Delaware, Florida, Massachusetts, South Carolina, Georgia, Illinois, which is where they're from. But they're actually in Chicago. They don't even cover entire state. But out of $300 that was probably spent in the correct area, all this money They had no idea that they were getting clicks nationwide. It's a small company. So when I showed it to them, you can imagine how they felt, right? 80% of their money was being wasted from day one because someone who set up the campaign thought he knows what he's doing. He didn't. Here's the second thing. Use negative keywords daily, okay, or update negative keywords. So I'll tell you, anybody familiar with negative keywords? Okay, so I'll explain negative keywords. A negative keyword is a word that you add in your campaigns as a negative. So what happens is when someone Googles your key phrase with the negative key phrase, your ad will not show up. For example, people search for water damage restoration photos and pictures. You don't restore pictures, you don't restore photographs, right? So the word photo and pictures should be a negative keyword in your campaign. So when someone Googles water damage restoration photos, your ad should not show up. A better example, I was in Milwaukee, I lived there for 18 years. I moved to Atlanta about 2 years ago. A furniture store owner, he was a member of one of our business groups, called me and said, Sonny, we get too much traffic, man. We get a lot of clicks, we spend a lot of money, we don't get any business. Can you take a look at my campaign? Sure. So it's a furniture store. They sell tables, they sell chairs, they sell couch, nightstands, and so forth. So his key phrases are accordingly: couch, sofa, furniture, table, nightstand, and so on. So I looked at the key phrases. Then I went further and I said, you're getting a lot of clicks and no calls? That's amazing. So then I started doing some digging in the key phrases he was getting calls. Comes out that 80% of his clicks came on the key phrase one nightstand. See? Because his key phrase is nightstand, Google shows his ads on one nightstand. It's a software end of the day. If you are an immigration attorney and if you're running campaigns on immigration attorney or attorney, your ads will show under business attorney or divorce attorney. You may not even provide those services. So you have to be very careful. Add negative keywords. Here's an example. This company spent $514,931.26 in 1 year. Out of them, the clicks were coming on water pump repair, the key phrase floods that don't mean anything, cell phone water damage. So cell phone should be a negative keyword, so this will not happen. Flooded basement, water in basement, water damage cell phone, fix a phone water damage, septic tank pumping. When I added everything, more than 50% of their money was wasted on key phrases related to water damage, but not services they provide, because they do not fix phones that are water damaged, and pickup trucks, and Silverados, and so forth. So out of 514,000, they had lost about close to $300,000 in 1 year because they had no negative keywords. That's all. See, they're not bidding on these key phrases. They're only bidding on water damage restoration. But when you bid on water damage restoration in broad match, Google will show your ad in anything related to, even closely to water damage. If it's a septic tank, crawl space, anything. So imagine, the owner almost had like tears in his eyes. I didn't want it to show him at first. I said, look, I have something for you. I want to show it to you, but I don't know if I should. You will not like it. He said, oh, Sonny, don't worry about it. I know there's something not right with my campaign. So I showed it to him, and he was like, I should have given it to charity if I knew I was going to lose that much money. That's a lot of money in 1 year, almost $300,000. So, negative keywords. We have now about 2,420, it's about 2,600 negative keywords that I have now working with the restoration industry for 9 years. So for example, today your negative keyword should be Irma, Harvey, because people will start searching on water damage Irma, water damage done by Irma, water damage done by Harvey. So if you're running campaigns, go home today, call somebody right now, add Harvey, Irma, Jose as negative keywords, because you will lose money faster than you know. Because people are searching for those key phrases, right? Water damage Irma, flood damage Harvey, and so forth. All right, so you can use call-only campaigns. Now, which means this only runs on mobile devices, on your smartphones. When someone clicks on your ad, it's a phone call to you. It bypasses the visitor going to your website and then deciding if he will call you or not. Very powerful strategy. Less than 5% of restoration companies are even using it. It's not brand new anymore. It's about 8 months, maybe a year old now. What happens is you write an ad, and when someone clicks on your ad, this will be a phone call to the business owner directly. In this case, let's say Serpro, there is an option. You can click here and call. If you click here, you'll go to the website. In this case, it is a phone call. So every click is a phone call. Google launched these campaigns for companies like taxi companies initially. So because you don't care, which company it is, you just want to call them right now. So you'll click on the ad, it'll call the taxi company, and you can then call them over. I just started doing it for restoration industry, and it works. So call-only campaigns. Track cost per lead in your AdWords account. Please do that. For example, in this case, there's two campaigns running side by side. One has a cost per lead of $27.60. One has cost per lead of $60. If you're not tracking this, you might think this campaign is doing better or that campaign is doing better. You really have no way of finding out which campaign is doing better. Now, if you have a limited budget, $60 per lead is a pretty good price though for our water restoration industry. How many of you would agree with that? Okay, but 27 is better. So if you have limited budget, you want to move this money to that campaign and then start getting leads for $27. Why pay 60 when you can get it for 27? I know 60 is good, but 27 is phenomenal. So you need to do this. You need to track cost per lead in your campaigns. Track click fraud. So there's services out there that will track IP addresses of people clicking on your ads. It's especially if you are from Midwest, East Coast, California, you need to do this. There's a lot of click fraud there. A lot of businesses will click their competitors' ads all day long, trying to run them out of budgets and business. So their ads can go higher, right? It's bad, but it happens. Yes, sir?
I was going to ask about, I've always wondered
yes.
how they keep track of that. Doesn't Google, like after you click from the same computer on the same ad a couple of times, don't they stop?
Yes, so that's a great question. So what Google does is, if someone clicks your ad multiple times, it doesn't mean you get charged multiple times. So you'll get charged once. And so if they click 7 times in a day, you'll only get charged once. But here's what happens, and that Google never answers. I've been asking them for 9 years. After how many days will they stop counting it as a first click? If a person comes back after 7 days and clicks on your ad again, will they charge you? If they come back after 15 days, 30 days, if a guy's sitting in his office trying to run his competitor out of business or out of his budget, he's going to do it again. So Google will not tell you, oh, okay, so after 7 days, if you get another click, we'll count it as a click, because nobody knows. And I mean, people who work there, they haven't been told that. The only answer they give is, well, we have systems in place for that. Really? You can tell me if it's 7 days, 15 days, 30 days? No, we have systems in place. Google is smart. We have those systems in place. So do your own thing. Track IP addresses, and if you find a guy like this who clicked your ad 7 times in 7 minutes, starting at 7:40, going up to 7:47, he's clicking on the ad every minute from this IP address, then you block that IP address. So Google allows you to block IP addresses. You go into your campaign, you block that IP address. Okay? Google will not give you IP addresses, but they will let you block them. So you have to do your own thing here, find those IP addresses. And there's companies out there who will help you with that. It's $50, $100 a month, maybe more.
How much?
About $100 a month. They'll track IP addresses for you and send you a report, and then you can manually copy them. The ones you feel are, not the right thing, you can put it in your campaigns.